All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. This is day 3 of our star review. Okay, we've talked about exponents, we've talked about domain and range, we've talked about input, output, all that good stuff. Now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into linear relationships. This one is extremely important. There's a lot of really good information on it. I'm looking for my clicker. There it is. There's a lot of good information on it. That's why I printed out a double-sided sheet. I really don't know how long this is going to take. This might be a short one. This might be a long one. Who knows? It kind of depends on you guys. Okay, if I feel like we're understanding it, it's going to be a lot shorter. If I feel like it's going kind of slow, obviously it would be a lot longer. Okay, so here we go. Linear relationships. Slope. What is slope? Rise over run. Okay, do me a favor. You guys have your worksheet, right? Rise over run. It's basically the amount of change between the x and the y, okay? Now, rise over run, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It is the m in y equals mx plus b. That is your slope. Slope is always in front of the what letter? X. And if there is no x, there is no slope, which makes it flat. Okay, think about skiing. If you go skiing and there's no slope, it's just a flat line. Okay. All right, here we go. What is the slope between 2 points? Do you guys remember how to do this? How do I get the slope? Let's say it. Stack and there we go. We remember it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to take this point. Does it matter which one's on top? No. So here's the way we did it. Now I know I'm gonna put the 3/8 there, and I'm gonna go -4, -1 here, and I'm gonna stack them and I'm gonna subtract them. You guys remember this? Okay. Stack and subtract. I know that if you're watching online or maybe you're somewhere else, your teacher might be teaching you y2 minus y1. It's the same thing. We're still going to subtract the y's. We're still going to subtract the x's, which is exactly what it's telling me to do here. Okay. It's just a different way to look at it. Okay. This way you don't have to remember a formula. Okay. All right. Here we go. What is 8 minus -1? Hold on. Think about what I just said. You guys have calculators, right? What's 8 minus -1? Positive 9. How did it become 9? Double negative makes it a what? Positive. There we go. So it basically turns into 8 plus 1, which is 9. Yes? Okay. And then we bring the x. So what is 3 minus -4? Positive 7. Will 9 over 7 reduce? No. If you're using Desmos, you could just type in 9 over 7, hit enter, and it'll tell you 9 over 7 again. Or you could do on your calculators the TI-84s. You could hit alpha y equals 1, hit 9 over 7, see if it reduces. This one will not reduce. Leave it as 9 over 7. Leave it as 9 over 7. Why do I not want to make it a mixed number? Anybody know? Yeah, this tells me exactly what to do. Remember I told you guys that fractions are your friends in slope? You guys remember this? This tells me I'm going to go up 9 and over how many? 7. Leave it as that. Okay, it tells you exactly what to do. So leave it as an improper fraction. Okay. All right, here we go. What is the slope of this line? To find the slope, what equation do I have to get it into? Y equals. So what were my 2 steps? You guys remember? If the x and the y are on the same side, this is standard form. If the x and the y are on the same side, what did I tell you guys to do? Move the what? Say it again. Move the x divided by y. You guys like, oh yeah. I hope you're writing all this stuff down, guys. This is why I gave you the worksheets. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to positive 7x. What do I need to make it? A what? Negative 7x. So I'm going to move it to the other side, make it a negative 7x. So now I've got negative 12y equals negative 7x plus 36, correct? All I did was I took the 7x from the left side and put it on the right side. Remember? Okay. Move the x and then what? Divide by the number with the y. So I'm going to divide by what number? Negative 12, because guess what I have now? When that cancels out, I have what? Y equals. That's my goal. My goal is y equals. Okay. So if I divide this thing by negative 12, what do I got to do? I got to do everything by negative 12 because I have to keep it balanced, right? If I do something to one part of an equation, you have to do it to the other part of the equation. Okay. That's how you keep it balanced, kind of like a scale. Okay. Will 7 over 12 reduce? No, so just leave it. What did 2 negatives make? Positive 7 over 12 x, and 36 divided by negative 12 is negative 3. Okay, So what's my slope? Nope, just 7 over 12. My slope is 7 over 12. Okay? Move the x, divide by y. If you need to, write that down. Move the x, divide by y. Please, just whatever you need to do to remember. Okay? Everybody good on that? You guys remember slope. Okay? Well, let's talk about slopes. Draw an example of an undefined slope and a zero slope. We're also going to do positive and negative. Do you guys remember Mr. Slope Guy? Yeah, yes. Yes, we do. Okay, give me a zero slope. What is zero slope? Let's go with zero first. What did I just tell you? If it's a zero slope, what is it? It's a flat line, so I'm just going to go here. It doesn't matter where I put it. That's my zero slope. Okay, if I go skiing and there's no slope, I'm not going anywhere because it's flat. Okay. What's undefined? Up and down. Up and down. Undefined, up and down. Easy way to remember it. I'm going to write it. Up and down. What do they both start with? Use. That's an easy way to remember it. Okay, undefined is up and down. Okay. Let me show you Mr. Slope Guy if you guys want to go ahead and draw it. Okay, circle guy. What kind of slope is that? That's positive. What is this one? That's negative. What was this again? Undefined. What is that? 0 and 0. Mr. Slope Guy. See some little grins. Okay. Okay. He's got his eyebrows are different lengths. That's cool. Whatever. All right. Is everybody good with that? Types of slope. They're going to ask you about that. How do I determine this? Which one is the only one that's not a function? Undefined. Okay. Undefined. Oh, by the way, one thing I want to talk about. This is a number. Any number over 0. That is any number. If it's over 0, it's undefined. Okay? Nobody can divide by 0. Except Chuck Norris. Exactly right. Okay? Chuck Norris can divide by 0. We learned some stuff this year. Absolutely. Okay? So this one, the 0's on bottom. What about this one? This one, the 0's on top. In other words, there's no slope. That one's actually okay because it's okay to have 0 slices of pizza left out of 8, but you can't have 8 slices left out of nothing. That makes no sense. Unless you're Chuck Norris. That's 100% right. Okay. Oh, I'm a little behind. Chuck Norris never feels under the weather. The weather feels under Chuck Norris. It doesn't take 2 to tango with Chuck Norris. He tangos alone. And then yesterday's, Chuck Norris never makes a long story short. Stories are as long as Chuck Norris wants them to be. Chuck Norris never plays with a full deck, and he always wins anyway. Okay. Anyway, I was a little behind. I had to get my Chuck Norris. Okay, here we go. Everybody good on this? If you're watching online, just, I don't know, fast forward. Okay. Moving on, here we go. 3 forms of linear equations. We got point slope form, we got slope intercept form, we got standard form. Okay, let's take a look at this. Okay, slope intercept form. What's the equation? Y equals what? Mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. That is where everything pretty much ends. Okay, I'll put a little star next to that. Okay, that's the important one. Make sure you understand every part of that. Okay, if you notice the equation is, how does it start? Y equals. Okay, what is m? That's slope. Make sure you know that. What is b? That's your y-intercept. That is your y-intercept. Make sure you know that. Okay, that is your y-intercept. All right, here we go. 3 forms of linear equation. You guys remember y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Now, all of this, some of these you will actually get on your resource form that you have. By the way, do you realize your test is a week from today? It's creeping. It's getting here. Okay. All right, here we go. We'll talk about all these forms here in just a minute. An equation goes in all 3 forms of a line. It goes through this point. If you get 2 points, how do I find slope, guys? Stack and what? Subtract. So let's do this. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to stack them, and I'm going to subtract them. -2, -4. Here we go. You guys have your calculator? What is -20 minus -4? Negative 20 minus 20 or minus 4. Negative 16. Okay. Negative 20 minus. And the reason I like Desmos a little bit more than the calculators is that way you don't get mixed up with the negatives and minus signs. Does that make sense? Okay, because negative is different on the calculator. Okay, in Desmos it's not. What is 7 minus negative 2? Positive 9. Will that reduce? No, it will not. So my slope is negative 16 over 9. I don't like that they gave me one with a decimal or with a fraction, but we're gonna make it work. We are going to make this work. Okay. All right, here we go. Point slope form. I get to pick one of these points. Which one looks easiest? First one or the second one? I'm gonna go with the first one. I'll go with the first one. The first one looks a little bit easier. Now, if you guys remember, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. I'm going over this just so that you can see it, okay? I don't expect you to like, oh my gosh, I got to relearn all this. It's review, okay? It's review. If you need to, go back and watch it again. That's the point of the videos, okay? Go back, rewatch it, make sure we understand it. Okay, so I'm going to call this x1. I'm going to call this y1. Everybody good? I could have picked either one of the points. It does not matter. 100% does not matter, okay? Y minus, what is y1? Negative 4, okay? Equals, what's my slope? Negative 16 over 9. And then x minus negative 2. I'm going to go ahead and do it. What's a minus negative 2? What's it turn into? A positive 2. This is actually going to be positive 4. Everybody good? The double negative changes it, okay? Think about it. Y minus y1. So the minus sign changes the signs. If it's a negative, it becomes a positive. If it's a positive, it becomes a negative. Is everybody good so far? There's point slope form. Okay, I'm going to do this. Point slope form. Everybody good? Now, how do I make it from point slope to slope intercept? Anybody know? Can I do anything with this problem? Look at it. Is there anything I can solve? What can I do? Thank you. Say it louder. I could distribute. Let's start with distributing. So this is point slope form. I'm going to go ahead and put like a little PS here so you know. Point slope. Now, from there, I'm going to work my way down. Okay, everybody good? Focus for me. I know this is like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of information. Okay, it's like a fire hose of information. All right, here we go. So I'm going to distribute. Negative 16 over 9 times x is negative 16 over 9x, yes? Everybody good? And then negative 16 over 9 times 2 is negative 32 over 9. All I did was multiplied 16 times 2, and I just left the 9 there. Everybody good? Now I've got y plus 4. This is why I don't like the decimal. This is why I don't like the fractions. I wish I would have just given it to you as a whole number. All right. What do I do now? I got to get this into y equals. It's what's in the way with the y equals? What's over there with it? The plus 4. How do I get rid of a positive 4? I'm going to subtract 4. Okay. So I'm going to do it this way. So minus 4. I'm going to subtract it from here because they're like terms. Y equals negative 16 over 9x. And just because I don't want to do the math, your calculator would do this, right? Negative 32 over 9 minus 4. If you have your calculator, it'll do it for you. But I'm just going to tell you. Negative 68 over 9. There it is. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, it's in that form. Everybody good? Now, standard form. This is where it's a little bit trickier. Okay, standard form. I cannot have a fraction. I cannot have a fraction. Okay, so I need to get rid of the. What's the bottom number of both those fractions? Pay attention to this. This is easy. This is actually very, very simple. Okay, the bottom number of this entire equation, the denominator is 9 in both of them. Yes. So I can take this entire equation and I can multiply the entire equation times what's the number again? 9. And what it's going to do is it's going to cancel out the fractions. Okay. So here it is, the slope intercept form. I'm going to put SI next to it. Slope intercept. Now I'm going to take this equation. I'm going to multiply everything times 9. And what's going to happen is, what's 9 times y? 9 what? 9y. And what happens here is this 9 cancels out. And all I'm left with is negative 16x. And I'm left with minus 68. I just basically canceled out the denominator is all I did. Everybody good? Now, standard form, what that simply means is that I'm going to put the x and the y on the same side of the equation. Right now, the y is on the left-hand side, right? What's not on the left-hand side? The x. What kind of x is it? What's my term with the x? Negative what? Negative 16x. So I need to make the negative 16 a what? Here it comes. So I'm basically going to slide this to this side over here. So I've got 16x positive 9y equals negative 68. There it is in standard form. There it is in standard form. Okay, I know that's a lot of work, but it showed you all. Think about it. I just showed you 4 different things. I showed you slope, point slope form, slope intercept form, and standard form all on one little slide. Okay, so there is a lot of information. And we did stack and subtract. We did all this other stuff. Okay, everybody good? Again, a lot of information. Let's move on. All right, the table shows the relationship between x and y. Rate of change. What's another word for rate of change? What is rate of change? It's slope. Write that down underneath the word rate of change. You will probably see that on your test. You will see the word rate of change. Rate of change. All right, with your table, here's how this works. This is going to be my slope. Now, if you guys remember, it's the change in y over the change in x, right? You guys remember that? That's what we just did. We subtracted the y's and we subtracted the x's, right? Focus for me. Let's do the y's. I'm going to go this direction. How do you get from 16 to 9, and then 9 to 2, and then 2 to negative 5? What did they do? What's the pattern? They subtracted 7. So my pattern for the y is minus 7. What's the pattern for this? How do you go from negative 20 to negative 10 and then to 0 to positive 10? What did they do? They added 10 to both everything, plus 10. So there's my rate of change. Easy. Everybody good? Is everybody all right? Okay, point slope form. Let's do it again. Pick one of these. Pick the one you think might look the easiest. Which one looks easiest? 0, 2? That's the one I would choose. So he's going to choose 0 and 2 for my point, and I'm going to use that slope, negative 7 over 10. Everybody good? Now watch how easy this is, please. Okay, y minus y1, so y minus 2 equals, what's my slope? Negative 7 over 10. And then we have x minus 0. I could just put x if I wanted to, right? Everybody good? Now, rather than doing the distribution and all that stuff, check this out. Slope-intercept form. I need the slope and I need what? The y-intercept. What's the y-intercept? Can you look at that chart and tell me what it is? 2. What is it? It's 2. 2. Y equals negative 7 over 10 x plus 2. Because here's my y-intercept. Anytime you see 0 in a number, what is that? That's my y-intercept. Hang on. Pause the video while I get a phone call. I can answer it fast enough. Okay, here we go. It's standard form. It's just the same thing. I would multiply this equation times 10 to get rid of that fraction. Everybody with me? So if I multiplied times 10, that would now be a 10y equals negative 7x plus 20. I basically multiplied everything times 10. Okay, 10y equals negative 7x. And I'm going to move that negative 7x this side. Positive 7x plus 10y equals 20. There it is. Everybody good? I know, a lot of information. So we've been talking a lot about slope, slope-intercept, point slope form. Those are probably going to be some of the biggest parts of the test, okay? Because didn't I tell you guys, like that's, you guys remember we came back from Christmas and we hammered that for a long time, okay? We did that for quite a while. All right, let's go on to the next slide. Key features of linear functions. Here we go. The graph shows the linear relationship between the ounces of ice cream carton containing and the number of ice cream cones made. Okay. All right, your x-intercept, your 0, is where the graph crosses the x-axis. Please remember that, okay? If they ask you for the zeros, that is the point where they cross the x-axis. It's the point where they cross the x-axis, okay? So on this one, what is my 0? What number is that? 6. 6 what? What's it talking about? 6 what? Number of what? 6 cones. 6 number of cones, okay? All right. What's my initial value? Look at your graph. The graph shows a linear relationship between the ounces of ice cream in a carton and the number of ice cream cones that were made. Okay, so think about it. The more, if I go to Brahms, when they first open up their day, how many of you love Brahms? I love Brahms ice cream. How many of you have never been to Brahms? You need to get out. Okay. It's so good. You got to get, if you go to Brahms, anybody have a favorite ice cream? What is it?
Hot fudge sundae, extra hot fudge.
Extra hot fudge?
I love hot fudge.
Dude. Okay. A what? Cookie dough? That's, yeah. It's very basic. Okay. How about my favorite? If you go, do you like Reese's? How many of you like Reese's? They have a peanut butter cup shake or a peanut butter cup ice cream, and like you get it as a shake, and when you finish, this is gonna be the fattest thing I've ever said. Okay, on video especially. When you finish the shake, at the bottom of the shake, they have little bitty peanut butter cups. It's almost like an added treat at the bottom of your shake. I'm going to Brahms third period. Okay. I'm do, you recommend it like another place? Yeah, do I look like somebody that doesn't drink a shake? Okay, I'm just saying. All right, here we go. So my initial value, we're going to start with 84 ounces of ice cream. 84 ounces of ice cream. Ice cream. I scream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. All right, here we go. What's the rate of change? So I need to find some points, right? So we're going to start with 84, right? Let's find another one. Actually, it looks like the only spot we have is this one. Would you agree? Like going from here to here. Remember, if we're trying to find a rate of change, I need to find another point. Agreed? You guys remember that? So if I work my way down this line, yeah, that kind of looks like it, but I don't think it's truly like fully, because there's a gap. You guys see that? But I do like this point right here. So let's do this. To get from here to here, how many down do I have to go? Hold on. It's not hard. What did it start with? 0 to what? 84. So I'm going to have to go down 84. So down 84, and I'm going to have to go over what? Say it. It's okay. You're right. 6. Well, 84 over 6 reduce. Alpha y equals 1, guys. Use your calculator. What is 84 divided by 6? Negative 14. So my rate of change, we just simplified it, didn't we? My rate of change is negative 14. Okay? Negative 14. All right. What is my slope-intercept form? Here we go. Y equals. What do I have to have? I have to have a slope and a what? A y-intercept. Okay? My slope is, what's my slope again? Negative 14x. What's my y-intercept? Positive 84. Okay? Basically, what they're telling you is that every ice cream cone is 14 ounces. Okay? Every ice cream cone is what? 14. 14 over 1. You subtract 14 ounces for every one cone. Okay, I was looking over here to see if it was like cases of cones or whatever. Nope. This says the total number of ice cream cones. Okay, so we went down 84 for 6, which means 14 ounces per cone. Okay, so understand what the word problems are telling you when you get to that point. Okay, when you guys, and this kind of adds into the linear function. This kind of adds into your STAR test. You're going to have a ton of word problems. You're going to have a lot of things that you're like, okay, I just don't remember what they were asking me or whatever else. When you see word problems, okay, when you see word problems, you might want to write this down somewhere. Find out what they're trying to tell you, okay, or what do they want to know? What do they want to know? Sometimes they're going to put words in there that are just fillers, okay? That are there just to distract you. Don't let unnecessary words mess with you. Okay? What are they giving me? What do they want me to know? Seriously, what do they want me to know? Okay? Um, Standard form, just move this over to this side. Seriously. 14x plus y equals 84. There it is. Do you guys remember the split where we can find the x and the y? Do you guys remember this? I'm going to show it to you. Might as well, because it might be on the STAR test. Using your standard form, watch this. Do you guys remember this? Where we would take this and split it. 14x equals 84. Y equals 84. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
We would split it and find each intercept. Okay, we would split this problem. If it's in standard form, we could split it, okay? What's 84 divided by 14? We just did it. Well, we didn't do that. X equals 6. And this one already says what? Y equals what? Y is 84. X is 6. It kind of works back to what we just did. Okay, everybody good? So it kind of works out. All right. Moving on up. All right, let's do direct variation. There is a back to your worksheet here in a minute. I'm going to give you guys a break, and then we'll do the back, okay? I'm not going to push through. There's a lot of information. I'm going to give you a little bit of a brain break, okay? All right, here we go. The value of y is directly proportional to the value of x when x is 368 and y is 92. What is the value of y when x is 52? All right, so here we go. Direct variation. Please write this down, okay? The y-intercept is always going to be 0. The y-intercept is always going to be 0. It's kind of like, I think one of the problems that we had, when we did this in class, we had a whole worksheet full of word problems. And like one of them was an airplane. Okay. Remember, when it takes off and it climbs at a certain speed, we can figure out how far it's going to be in the air after 3 minutes or something like that. Okay. Because it's direct variation. The longer something is going up, the higher it's going to be. Right. So all these are basically proportions. Okay. So the value of y is directly proportional to the value of x. All that simply means is that don't change anything, okay? When x is 368, y is 92. So when x is 368, y is 92, okay? It doesn't really matter which one goes on top. It really does not matter on this one. As long as you keep it consistent. Just keep it consistent. If you want to put the y on top because that's what you do for slope, by all means, be that person, okay? What is the value? What are they trying to find? The value of what? Nope. What is the value of? Value of y when what? When x is 52. Do me a favor. You guys have your calculator? Cross multiply that. Cross multiply. Remember the proportion, butterfly method? What's 368 times y? 368y. What's 92 times 52? Now, take that number and divide by 368. What? Y is 13. There's my answer. Simple. Y is 13. If I flipped it around the other way, let me show you this. You don't have to rewrite it, but let me show you. What if I put the y on top? 92 over 368. And then I'm looking for y over 52. I'm still multiplying 92 times 52, and I'm going to divide by 368. So it doesn't matter which one goes on top, as long as your proportion is set up correct. If your x is on top, your x needs to be on top over here. Everybody understand that? Make sure your x and x, your y and your y, don't flip them. Don't do that. Do not do that. That will mess it up. All right, here we go. The total distance in a centimeter a car moves varies directly in time in seconds. The toy car moves a total of 312 centimeters in 12 seconds. Okay, what is the time in seconds when the car goes 494 centimeters? I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to let you set this up. Okay, go. All right, here we go. Toy car moves a total of distance of, so we went 312 centimeters in 12 seconds, yes? Okay, so they want to know how long it, so they want to know how many seconds. So this is what they're looking for. Remember, word problem, what did I tell you? What are they trying to look for? What do they want you to figure out? How many seconds? It went 494. Okay. All right, let's multiply. What's 12 times 494? Let's cross multiply.
5,900.
5,928. And 312 times x is 312x. And then divide by 312. 312. How many seconds does it take to go that far?
You put 5924.
5924?
Yes, it's 5928.
5928. Thank you. Okay, so what's the answer? 19 seconds? 19. Oh, label it 19 seconds. 19 seconds. Because that's what they're looking for. It takes 19 seconds. Now, does my answer make sense? Think about it. Does it make sense? Absolutely. It takes that long to go that far, so 19 seconds to go a little bit further. Yes, 7 more seconds. To me, that kind of makes sense. Make sure that when you do your word problems, okay, maybe put on the side of your notes somewhere, make sure your answer makes sense. Make sure your answer makes sense, okay? That's the linear relationships review. Here in a minute, we're going to start applying linear relationships review. And because it's such a long one, this one's 30 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and upload this one, and I will do a second video here in a minute. Cool? All right, you guys can take a break.